This video is a basic restorative sequence, and the props that you will need is a bolster, probably 3 blocks, and if you don't have a bolster or those yoga blocks, you could also use blankets, and then you also want to have a chair. So our first pose that you can see me in right now is a supported bound angle. I've got a bolster behind my back with also a block giving it a little bit of elevation just under the upper back and head area, and then also blocks supporting under my legs. So if you didn't have the blocks, you would use rolled up blankets under the legs, and you could also roll up the blankets to make that bolster shape, which just kind of looks like a long pillow. The soles of my feet are together, and my arms are out to the sides with my palms turned up. Eyes are closed. Face is relaxed. And it's just a natural, easy breath in and out through your nose. So just settling in here and allowing yourself to sink a little deeper down into the props, allowing yourself to be completely supported by them, so not trying to hold yourself up in any way. If this is too much for your hips, with the feet together and the knees apart from each other, you could also just straighten the legs out in front or bring the soles of your feet to the floor and let your knees fall in towards each other. You do want your head to be a little bit higher than your chest and your chest to be higher than your pelvis. Begin to deepen your breath a little bit here. As you inhale, first the belly rises and expands, then the chest lifts. And as you exhale, chest lowers, belly pulls in and down. If you feel that you are taking kind of a back bend here where your chin starts to lift up towards the ceiling, bring yourself up at more of an angle so that your head is higher, and you can do that just by placing maybe another block or blanket under the upper portion of that bolster. So again, under the chest and head area. And anytime during this practice, if any of the poses start to feel a little uncomfortable, remember, just come out, see if you can adjust the props, and if that doesn't help, move on to the next pose. We'll begin to make our way out of this first pose. So make sure that your lower belly is slightly pulled in, and use your hands to bring your knees back together. And then choose one side to roll off of the bolster setup that you have there. So I'm rolling over to my right, onto my side. And I'll take a couple of breaths there on my side. Start to press yourself up to a seat. And then reach for a blanket. Have it folded in a rectangular shape. And sit up on that facing a chair. Cross your shins, so just an easy crossed legs. And then place your arms onto the chair in front of you and relax your forehead to rest onto the forearms. If it would be more comfortable to turn your head to one side, that's fine. Take a few breaths looking in one direction and then remember to also turn the head to look in the other direction. Relax your upper back and your shoulders. And make sure that you are relaxing your belly as well, especially the lower part of your abdomen. And take some nice deep breaths into that lower belly area. As you inhale, the belly should expand. And then as you exhale, it will lightly pull back in. So our next pose, all we'll need to do is change the way our legs are. So first just lift your gaze, lift the torso, and then stretch your legs out to the sides. This is a supported seated angle. The legs are straight, but they should be comfortable, not too far apart. So maybe a little bit of stretch on the inner thighs and hamstrings here, but not too much. And again, we just rest our arms on the chair in front of us. The forehead could be resting on the forearms or maybe looking to one side. Draw your belly slightly forward and down towards the floor. And again, relaxing through your shoulders, the upper back, belly is soft. Work with a slightly deeper breath here, really focusing on your exhales. And also check in to make sure that the jaw is relaxed. Softening through your face and your cheeks. If your mind is a little busy in these longer holds, you can always just have it focus directly on the breath, the sensation of the belly expanding and contracting. We'll take just a few more breaths right here. Okay, starting to make our way out of this pose, lift your gaze. I like to use my hands to help bend the knees and bring them in closer towards each other. Come on off your blanket and we'll set ourselves up for a supported child's pose. So you will want your bolster, probably at least one blanket on top of that. And I moved the block that was under the bolster, giving an elevation to the side. And then I'll bring my big toes a little bit closer together, let my knees come out to the sides. My hips are back towards my heels, and I'm just resting my arms down on the floor and gazing to one side. So check in here and make sure you're comfortable. You may need a little bit more height under the chest. You might need another blanket. The hips do not have to touch the heels, but they're just moving in that direction. Make sure that you're completely able to relax the arms so you don't have to hold yourself up. If you are pressing into the arms, you feel that you need to do that, try putting another blanket under your torso. Let's switch our gaze, so we'll turn the head in the other direction. Supported child's pose is a gentle stretch for the lower back. So focus on bringing your breath to that area and really relaxing all the muscles along the lower portion of the back, even down into the sacrum, and softening through the hips. Bring your chin forward and start to bring your hands under your shoulders, and then use your arm strength to straighten through your arms and lift the chest. Set your bolster and blankets off to the side. We'll be moving on to our back for supported bridge, and you will need one of your blocks, or a folded up blanket would be fine too. Come onto your back. Walk your feet in towards your hips. Your knees and feet are hips width apart, toes point forward, and then press into your feet, lift your hips, and take that block and place it under your sacrum. So the sacrum is just the area below our lower back, or the lumbar spine, and it's a flat, bony place. Once you set your hips down, it should feel comfortable. If not, try moving your block or blankets a little bit closer towards your heels and see if that helps. If that bothers your back in any way, set the block to the side and set your hips to the floor and just stay like that. Turn your palms up towards the ceiling if that's comfortable. Close your eyes. You should feel a gentle lengthening of the low back, and also some opening through the chest and the front of your shoulders. Let your belly be relaxed. And just take some easy breaths. As you inhale, the belly rises. As you exhale, the belly falls. To move out of our supported bridge, first press your feet down into the floor, lift your hips, and move the block off of the mat to the side. Hips come back down to the floor, and pull your knees in towards your chest. You might want to make little circles with the knees, massaging your low back and sacrum. You can also rock side to side. Take your arms out to the sides. I like to bend my elbows at 90 degrees and my palms turned up. And drop both of your knees over to the left as you bring your right shoulder blade back down to the floor, if it lifted as the knees came over to the left. The gaze is just wherever it's most comfortable for you. So it might be up, it might be over to the right. Pull your belly in as you lift the knees back up. And now the knees come over to the right. And we make sure that our left shoulder blade presses down, or at least is moving in that direction down towards the floor. Bring your left arm all the way over to the right side of your body, and then use your left hand to press yourself up to a seat. We will set ourselves up for our final pose, where we'll be placing our legs on a chair, so make sure that your chair is still close by. Place your calves on the chair, lie down, and I like to use a blanket just under my head. So check in here. You do want your hips to be resting to the floor. If your hips are lifting, use another blanket and place them under the hips so they're supported. Then find a comfortable place for your arms and close your eyes. We'll work just a couple rounds with an equal length breath. So what I'd like you to do first is just silently to yourself count the length of your inhale and exhale right now. It will likely not match in length. That's completely normal. But on the next round of inhale and exhale, I want you to make the lengths of those match. And I would start with a easier length, so maybe a 3 count or a 4 count. And it would just simply be like this. You would inhale for 1, 2, 3, and then you would exhale for 1, 2, 3. So try that a couple more rounds. After that second round, just come back to your natural breath. Easy inhales and exhales, not worrying about the length at all. As you inhale, the belly rises and expands a little bit. As you exhale, the belly gently falls down towards the earth. Take as much time as you can here, allowing yourself to relax even deeper. But when you are ready to move out, all you need to do is pull your knees into your chest, roll over to one side, and carefully press yourself on up to a seat. I hope you all have a wonderful rest of your day. Namaste.